Can you really think like a monk? When you're stuck in rush hour traffic.
Or dealing with a super demanding job.
Yeah, or just trying to navigate like complex relationships that feel anything but peaceful, it sounds.
Hmm.
Well, maybe impossible.
Or at least highly impractical for most of us in modern life, right?
Exactly. It's a feeling a lot of people have, I think.
It really is. That traditional image of a monk, sort of removed from all the chaos. How does that wisdom actually apply to the very real pressures you face every single day?
That's the key question, and that's precisely why we're doing this deep dive today. We're looking at excerpts from Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty.
Right, and he's interesting because he was a monk for 3 years, but then came back to, well, regular life. So he translates these timeless ideas in a way that feels relevant now.
And the core idea, right from the start, is that monks aren't just born that way. They come from all kinds of backgrounds, like Jay Shetty himself.
Just like you, really. They chose a path of transformation. It's a mindset. Anyone can choose to cultivate it. You don't need to be in an ashram.
So our mission here is to kind of guide you through this source material. We want to pull out the most important bits, the real nuggets of insight.
Yeah, offer a shortcut, maybe, to understanding what thinking like a monk actually means day to day. Not some lofty ideal, but practical ways to find a bit more peace and purpose right where you are.
And the book lays out a pretty clear path, which is helpful. It's structured in 3 stages, and that's how we'll approach it too.
First, there's let go. This is the cleansing stage, sort of stripping away the things that hold you back.
Then comes grow. That's about reshaping your life, finding purpose, building better habits.
And finally, give. This is about expanding your focus outwards, connecting deeper, and the joy of service.
Okay, let's dive into that first stage then.
Yeah.
Let go. The cleansing. Stripping away external noise, internal blocks, fears, all that stuff.
Right. The source uses this great metaphor. Your identity is like a mirror covered in dust.
The dust.
Yeah, the dust is all the external stuff. The ideals you chase because you think others expect it, the fear of being judged, comparing yourself, all that noise. Ah, okay. So when the mirror is dusty, you can't see yourself clearly.
Exactly. The first step is clearing that dust. It ties into the idea of Maya, the illusion of what success or happiness is supposed to look like, driven by outside pressures.
There's a Sanskrit term for this, isn't there?
Yes, Sitodarpan Marjanam. It literally means clearance of the impure mirror of the mind. Monastic life simplifies things precisely to reduce that external dust.
Which is hard in modern life with all the constant input.
Definitely. But the source points to something simple. Look at how you spend your time and money. That reveals your actual values underneath the dust.
Can you give an example?
Well, think about it. 15 minutes scrolling social media might feel like me time, totally necessary.
Yeah.
But maybe 15 minutes of quiet meditation feels like I don't have time for that. Or, $4 for a coffee is fine, but spending $1.50 more for healthier food feels like too much.
Ouch. That hits home a bit. It's stark, right? It just encourages you to pause and ask, okay, what's the value behind this choice I'm making? Not judging, just noticing where your energy is really going.
Revealing those underlying values, or maybe the lack of alignment.
Exactly. And letting go isn't just external dust, it's internal obstacles too. Negativity, for instance.
The book calls them cancers of the mind, right?
Yeah.
Complaining, comparing, criticizing.
Those habits just eat away at your inner peace. And a key practice to counter them is becoming an objective observer.
Stepping back emotionally from conflict or difficult people.
Precisely. Instead of getting sucked into your reaction, there's a great quote from Father Thomas Keating. There is no commandment that says we have to be upset by the way other people treat us.
So the upset comes from inside us, not just from them.
That's the crucial insight. When someone hurts you, the source suggests reframing it. It's because they're hurt. Their pain is spilling out.
It's not necessarily personal, even if it feels that way.
Right. It's their stuff. Learning to see it that way, as the Dalai Lama suggests, help if you can, but at least don't absorb their harm. That's a huge step in letting go of negativity.
Fear is another big one, a major internal block.
Absolutely. And the source links a lot of our fear to attachment.
Attachment, like to things.
Things, ideas, relationships, this need to own and control stuff that's inherently temporary. The monkey mind clings, you see. The monk mind practices detachment.
That sounds hard. Letting go of things you care about.
It is hard, but the insight is recognizing that everything is borrowed, that it's all impermanent, that can actually shape fear towards freedom.
Hmm.
You're less afraid of losing something if you accept it wasn't truly yours forever anyway.
So accepting impermanence reduces fear.
It can, yeah. And there's a simple tool for fear in the moment. Breath work.
Just breathing.
Sounds basic, but fear shows up physically, right? Tight chest, racing heart. Focusing on your breath, which is always there, helps realign your body and mind, calms the system.
A quick way to short-circuit the panic response.
Exactly. Ultimately, this whole let-go stage is driven by intention. Being really honest about why you do things, why you chase that goal, why you react that way.
Following the whys back to the root.
Yeah, often back to some unmet need deep down. It's about clearing the path, releasing the baggage, the dust, the negativity, the fear, the attachment, so you can actually see clearly.
Okay, that makes sense. Clearing the space, which leads perfectly into the second stage, grow.
Right. You've made some space by letting go. Now you use that space to make intentional choices, find your purpose, build resilience.
So letting go wasn't the end goal for the monks.
Not at all. It was the means to open the mind for growth and, importantly, service. Even things like rotating chores in the ashram, it wasn't just about getting work done.
What was it about?
Developing willingness, flexibility, seeing value in all activities, not just the ones you prefer, bringing intention to whatever you're doing.
And that connects to finding your purpose, your dharma.
Directly. The source has this beautiful idea. Your dharma isn't something you have to hunt for out there. It's already in you.
You can't be anything you want.
But you can be everything you are. It's woven into you. You uncover it through curiosity, through trying things out.
So experimentation is key.
Definitely. You need to test drive your dharma, like trying new food, you taste it, see how it feels immediately, then reflect later on the longer-term effect.
So try activities and ask yourself,
What did I like? Was I actually good at it, or could I be? Does it feel aligned with the person I want to be, even if it's a struggle at first, like Jay Shetty's first club meeting with no one showing up?
Right. Learning from the failures too.
Exactly. You learn, you adapt, you find your strengths, and this stage is also about building that supportive mindset through routines.
The ashram morning routine, right?
Yeah.
For peace and structure.
Yeah. Starting the day with intention sets the tone. The suggestion is maybe wake up just an hour earlier, use that time purposefully.
The TIME framework.
Thankfulness, insight, meditation, exercise, just a structure to consider. And it's not just mornings, evenings matter too. How you wind down affects how you wake up.
It's about creating space for presence through structure.
Precisely. And continuous mind training. The untrained mind is like a jungle, swinging from thought to thought. The wise mind shapes itself like a carpenter shapes wood.
But those thoughts can be so loud, the negative ones.
They can. But the key insight is you are not your thoughts. Those self-defeating thoughts, I'm not good enough, they often carry old pain.
Pain from the past.
Often, yeah. And that pain sticks around in your thoughts until it teaches you something. You have to consciously choose to rewire your mindset, or you just repeat the same painful patterns.
How do you rewire?
By investing in your conscious mind. Reframe self-criticism. Instead of, I failed, maybe I'm learning or I'm working on this. Amplify your progress.
Talk to yourself differently.
Yes. Build a relationship with that inner critic. Maybe write down racing thoughts to get them out of your head. Create new scripts, positive responses to the negative self-talk.
Like applying the golden rule to yourself.
Exactly. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd show others. Your internal narrative shapes your reality, so choose a vocabulary of self-compassion.
And underlying all this growth is presence.
The core teaching, be here now. Not perfectly, not 100% of the time, but the intention to keep coming back to the present moment instead of getting lost in regret or worry.
So grow is about actively building that inner world, those practices, using the clarity gained from letting go. It's ongoing work.
Mind maintenance, exactly. The charioteer steering the mind. It's never truly finished.
Which brings us beautifully to the third stage. Give. Turning outwards.
Yes, expanding gratitude, deepening relationships, and discovering the real joy of service.
The source says the highest purpose is actually service.
It does. That phrase, plant trees under whose shade you do not plan to sit, that captures it, contributing to something beyond yourself.
That's the Siva mindset, selfless service.
Right. Sat at giving without expecting anything back. The monks found real purpose and connection in serving their community, even in small ways.
And it's not just about the receiver, is it? Service changes the giver, too.
Absolutely. It transforms you. It shifts your focus from your own problems, fosters gratitude, gives perspective. Interestingly, studies show people with less often give more, highlighting the internal richness it brings.
But does service have to be some grand gesture, like volunteering constantly?
Not necessarily. The source emphasizes serving within your dharma. Use your existing skills, your job. If you're a musician, serve with music. A coder, serve with code.
Connect what you already do to a higher purpose.
Exactly. It's the spirit you bring to it. Doing it with love versus just out of obligation. That makes all the difference.
And giving also includes relationships, deepening connections,
Vital, community, interdependence. Think of redwood trees. Their roots aren't deep, but they intertwine, supporting each other. We need that connection too.
building trust, choosing connections intentionally.
Right. And the book talks about an intentional love life too. Jay Shetty's experience, focusing on self-awareness, first becoming the person he'd want to date before seeking a partner.
Knowing what you need and what you offer.
Yes. And it gives a framework for nourishing relationships, the 6 loving exchanges.
Gifts, conversation.
Food, activities, touch, and secrets sharing vulnerability. These things build bonds, and when there's dissatisfaction, it often traces back to a lack in one of these areas.
So instead of just complaining,
Articulate your need based on these exchanges.
Yeah.
I'd feel more connected if we share more deep conversations, rather than, you never talk to me.
communicating needs clearly, without blame.
Exactly. And if you keep making the same mistakes in relationships, repeating patterns,
The source says that's not bad luck.
it's a sign of unresolved internal pain. Those situations or people reappear until you learn the lesson, until you heal that part of yourself. You have to do the inner work.
So give is about expanding outwards through service that aligns with who you are and through building deeper, more intentional relationships based on self-awareness.
That sums it up well.
Okay, so putting it all together, this path from the source material, letting go, growing, giving, it's not like a checklist you finish.
No, definitely not. It's an ongoing practice. Using the tools breathwork, writing thoughts, reframing, gratitude, routines consistently.
Training your mind, basically, and coming back to your intention when life inevitably pulls you off course.
And being patient. Progress isn't always smooth or comfortable. The process itself, the returning, that's the goal.
So we've taken this deep dive into how you can actually think like a monk by exploring this journey, clearing the clutter, building purpose and good habits, and then expanding outward through service and connection.
And this wisdom, adapted by Jay Shetty from ancient traditions, really does show that finding more peace, purpose, and connection is possible for you right now, wherever you are.
We really hope exploring these excerpts has given you some valuable things to think about for your own life. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Now, maybe something to take away with you today, building on all this, what's one small, really tangible step you could take? Maybe related to clearing a tiny bit of dust, setting one small intention, or just offering a moment of real presence to someone. What's one thing you can do today to bring just a little bit more of that monk mindset into your modern life?